Yeah. Hey, how you doing? Bob here. Odin's Lock. Just got back from the dentist. I had a request. Somebody wanted me to kind of cover some of the pros and cons of the Framon 2 and the HPC 1200. Let me see here. I have both, and I use both. I primarily use the HPC. I have my reasons. I'll kind of go through some of this real quick. Let me turn this camera around. Just give me a second here. Okay, here I am. I have my fan going. I don't know if it's going to interfere with my audio. So to start off with, Framon 2 comes with this fancy book. It also comes with a software generic code. People talk about how much a Framon 2 costs. That's because that includes all that, you know, the software and the book, and a few of the extra stuff, you know, cutters, etc. But like I have my greatest hits already set up on here. Some people will put them on a piece of paper or a cheat sheet. I need to do that actually, just laminate it. And so like the Framon 2 for it uses the spacer blocks, and I got number 2 in here. You can see right there, number 2. And for this key, it's 5 space. And the usual first cut starts at 0.247. I went ahead and set it up. And now here's the key, the 80 thousandths wide. First time I cut a quick set key on a Framon 2, it didn't work. And I couldn't believe it. And I put in my key gauge, perfect depth. I didn't understand it, and I got online and looked. It just didn't make sense, and they said, and I must have overlooked it, that you gotta kind of widen the cuts a little bit. And so you can actually buy just the quick set cutter, but then you wind up changing cutters out, you know, back and forth between Schlag and quick set, and the quick set's wider land on there, and so I just go with the thinner that I know does Schlag and most residential commercial stuff, and then I just widen it by widening the knob back and forth. I just moved that on myself. So anyway, but that's kind of how I do that. It should be right there, 247. That's the other thing. Is this, you know, it plays with you. That's like half thousandths of an inch. You know, it's not much, but it feels like it just moved a whole lot. But anyways, I'm dead set on number 1. Let me get my magnet off here. And so 260 would be my first cut. It's 4. And so there's other ways, you know, people do this. They'll do all the cuts, like this one here will be a 42414. So I may go ahead and do all the 4s all together, or just do the 1 and the 2. You know, there's ways to do it. You know, if you're gonna do many, you know, personally, I'm just gonna cut them. I'll probably just do the 4s all together. But you got to keep track of where you're at on this, which no big deal. You kind of do it on the HPC 2 sometimes if you do it that way. So what I will do, let me get set up here. I just got back from the dentist. I wasn't really thinking about doing all this right now. So give me a second, let me turn this camera around. I'm going to try to do a top view down. And that way I have both hands free to do this. So hold on just a second. Alright. So here's what we got. We'll go ahead and try to cut this key out real quick. So we're going to do 4, 2, 4, 1, 4. There's multiple ways to do this, so I'm going to go ahead and just do all the 4s together. So that would be 260. There's 250, 260. So now you got to hold it. Move it back and forth, and that's the only thing I don't like about this one here. Or you really gotta widen those out. I mean, you can go ahead and buy the quick set cutter, but the problem is then you'd be changing cutters out all the time. So we'll go ahead and do number 2. That'll be a 306. like this because I gotta crank it, try to get how I want to widen those cuts. That'll be a number let me check. Yep, 1. So 1 is a 329. You just gotta widen those out quite a bit. So let me see how my key looks here. Like I said, I mean, it's easier to widen a cut than it is to have a, one wide cutter taking off all of the what should be next to it. Perfect, and that's dead on. And that's what I had to widen up, the land on there. So that is perfect. So that's with the framing. And so you gotta have to have your buck, kind of, be better to have a cheat sheet. The framing's an awesome machine. Schlag, it's perfect. You do it. You really gotta keep track of your numbers here. Your graduations on there. And that is with this. Let me see if I can turn my phone around. And it's not real specific as far as how wide, just wide enough. If you got the different cutter, it would have the wider land right there. You wouldn't have to worry about what I was doing. But my first quick set key I cut, it didn't work, and I thought, well, shoot, what's wrong? I checked the depth was perfect. Then I got online, was looking. I didn't see that anywhere that certain, like even quick set. There's other ones out there that you really got to widen the cuts. And so I thought about putting my own little graduations on here to, on each side of this line, or even a piece of tape so I can go on both sides of that. So now on to the HPC. Hold on, give me a second here. Let me turn this around. Okay, so let me lock and load here. Put another flashlight over here. Put that in. So once you get that in there, you pull your book out, pick the cards you want. For me here, for this, we're doing a quick set. Where did I put that? I think it should be in here. Yeah, that's over here. Okay. That's pretty much. Now you're set up. So you can automatically just start, and see even that has graduations right there that show you, how you got to go back and forth on there to make it wide enough. So 4.2. What was that code? 42414. And so with this, all you do is you just crank it on in. Two. That's it. Now I know people will do like which is faster. It's one thing when you have a key in there and you do this every day, but I don't hardly ever use the framing, and then I use this more. But I mean, it's still that much quicker. So then you check it, smooth as a whistle. That's how it's supposed to be. So let me bring the camera over here. Just want you to see the graduations. You got to move them to widen the land for the quick set. Plus, quick set has, I don't know what it is about having a picture. It's kind of like the difference between a dial and a digital. Sometimes you just got to see the actual stuff. The Framon book, it has a lot of information in there too, but it just, let's see here, page 212, what I was at. It just kind of, when you look at a key, sometimes you know what it is. A quick set, everyone should. Quick set Titan. Sometimes you get through here though, and you just don't know what lock you're looking at because it just doesn't, doesn't look right. You know, like the key blank itself doesn't match. So when you get into like, let me go over here. Let's try Master. Master's one. They got a whole bunch. And you know, even the you got Master Padlock, got all these Masters. So you really gotta know what you're playing with. More Master. Master. When you get into this book here, excuse me, I gotta. So when you get into this, you just got Master. You got 2 cards. That's it. That's all you gotta worry about. It's just, you know, simplified. You do kind of have to figure out, you know, which one you're dealing with. Large pen, small pen, stuff like that. That's a standard large pen, standard small pen. All these here, you just got to know the key blanks, and so that's where you get a little bit more tricky. So that's how that works with that. As far as my personal preference between the two, I love my Framon. No matter what, it's bulletproof, and I'll never have to worry about it. Every time you cut your first key, it's calibrated. You can't say enough for that, for the accuracy. It's amazing. And if you use it a lot more, I don't use it that much. But if you use it more, you get kind of inclined with certain things, how you do certain things. You know, if you do all the certain cuts together, if you just want to do each cut and just treat it as its own, you know, where you got to adjust your depth. Sometimes people will do, like if I had 3 4s depths in there, they'll just do all the 4s and then they'll do the other ones. People do it different ways, and they do the same thing with this. This is my go-to. It just seems to me to be quicker as not just cutting a key. I mean, you can cut a key pretty fast on the Framon if you're used to it. But I mean, just the moment I know I've got a quick set or a Master, I know what I gotta grab for. When you get into this book here, it's a great book. I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying, you got quick set, you got quick set Titan. You start looking at these things, cuts are 80 thousandths wide. You don't even have to think about all this stuff with this one here. The quick set, it just tells you, you know, you got to go that wide. And it even has, you know, for Corbin 80s and Rosestones, and widen cuts only when using original pens. So it even tells you that. You don't even have to do that with regular pens. So just for S&Gs, let me cut one with my Pack-a-Punch. So here, let me set it up just a second. Okay, so let me grab a key blank here. We're going to cut a key for that quick set style here. So that is the one drawback, is you got a little perch. You gotta just someone else. I'm just put that on there. Just take me a second. This is how it is when you first walk in. You start wanting to cut keys. You got all these little things. So first cut, number 1. You got graduations right there. I don't know if you can see it. So 4, I believe, yeah. 2, 4, 1, 4. Let's see. Sometimes you gotta deburr that. Perfect, smooth as silk. And so that's this. I have a quick set and shellac, and that's usually that'd be my other go-tos. My HPC 1200 of these. I still, it's like I don't know if I could live without my Framon. Let me show this bowl D10 on here. And I don't know if you can see. This goes on the back of my phone. So there's a magnet on there, and then I got a little metal plate on the back of my phone. If I can pop that off, that sits on there. So you just grab it. It's perfect fit. Just like that. And then I got a little metal plate I sit on, like I said, on the ceiling or whatever. So I'll recap. If you do code work, Pack-a-Punches work great. Framon's work great. HPC works great. HPC to me is quicker, and I'm not talking like, you know, you get 2 guys, you know, with their keys, you know, in and, you know, ready, set, go. I'm just talking when you first walk into your vehicle. If I'm doing a quick set, I know I'm just going to grab my quick set card, put it in, throw a blank in, and it tells you everything you need to do right there. If I do my framing, I got to get the book out, go to page 212, see what the space block is. Granted, if you had a cheat sheet, it's all there. You know, you got all your little spacer blocks. Maybe you only do quick set, you know, or Schlag on here. They're both wonderful machines. And I love my Pack-a-Punches too. With the framing, you're getting all this stuff. It's a lot of information, and there's spots in back where you can do your own stuff. And I think I've added some. There's KID I had to add in here a while back. But you know, with Master, some of the other stuff. Let me see, card number 34, 35. These the HPC is a wonderful machine. It's quick. It's cheaper. You're gonna cost you less than a Framon 2. Framon 2, you're getting software and everything for it, you know, so you get a lot of stuff with it. So, I mean, as far as pros and cons, I'm just saying if you will cut keys on this, it's a little bit trickier than on this. And, you know, you really got to watch your numbers here. I'm going to grab my flashlight. It's easy to kind of get lost on where you're at. But dust off. And so you got to know your blocks. What I may do is scribe some marks next to the marks that are already on there for the 0.150, just because I want to know when I widen the cut for a quick set how much it not ought to be. So anyways, that's how those are. Another thing, you know, I don't really talk about this machine here. You know, ESP, Illinois, whatever the company is now, HPC, and they were bought out by, they have their own version of this. I think it's ESP, and it's like $600-700. I don't remember. This is a Sidewinder type key machine. It's actually a really cool machine. I don't know if I have it plugged in. I actually have it plugged in. I bought this, gosh, maybe $100. No, I think I bought it for $80, and I think I had to pay an extra $30 for shipping. That was on AliExpress. So, you know, these are always an option too for Sidewinders if you're looking for affordable key machines. Granted, you know, it's not American, yeah, it's China, but ESP, you know, they're using the same one. It's the same thing, and this one here is actually, I got the 998C, which has the adjustable height right here, so you can adjust right here instead of having to loose everything up and then drop that down. So that's a cool machine too. Anyways, I'll see if I can put all this together, throw this video up online. You want my personal opinion? If you have the money and you know it's going to be a while before you could get a Framon 2, this is an excellent investment. You know, if you want to save up for that, great. The drawbacks to the HPC 1200 to me is you got to calibrate it, and you got to keep an eye on the calibration of it. And I bought the calibration kit here a while back because I got tired of borrowing from my Locksmith friends, but there is a kit that's a calibration kit, and it helps you get your depths and spaces correct on this. So you do have to maintain that. The Framon 2, you don't have to worry about that because every time you do cut your first key, you calibrated it for that key. And then everyone after that, you're just relying on the scribes on these lines, but it's accurate, you know. Your depth is always going to be almost dead on. If you put the calipers on there, it'd be dead on. And your keys, most of these tolerances, I think they're like 2 to 3 thousandths of an inch. I don't know. I think I put that down in one of my other videos. I think Quickset was 2 to 3 thousandths. So, hope this helps. If you have any questions, let me know. I can do another video. I just wanted to throw this together real quick. So, anyways, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.